Welcome back to Media Madness. My name is Thomas, and today we are again covering the old Brilyn Hollyhand. A lot of you in the comments were very deeply upset that I offended the honor of the internet's youngest voice of reason. You told me, dude, give him a chance. He's still on the plane. Charlie was only 18 when he started. You said, are you jealous of this guy? Are you jealous of Brilyn Hollyhand? One of you even accused me of being a liberal. You must be a liberal. Who cares what you think? I think Brilyn Hollyhand is fantastic. Now, it's been a week since that video went up, and I think that's chance enough, and he's already squandered it, specifically at Auburn University, and I'll show you why. Now, by the time the One Conversation at a Time tour had reached Auburn, Alabama, the world and the right broadly had gotten wise to Brilyn Hollyhand's evil tricks, so they decided to bombard him with questions that he would answer poorly, and answer poorly he did. So let's see Brilyn's take on immigration, specifically legal immigration into the United States.
You're saying you are, we're continuing supporting legal immigrants in the country. I said the melting pot absolutely is something that we should continue to do.
So we should keep increasing the amount of legal immigrants.
Legal immigrants, yes, we're a melting pot. I absolutely support that.
So I'm sure you understand these groups vote overwhelmingly against American values. They vote for the Democratic Party. So surely that's the death of the Republican Party, right?
Yes, but we can't close our borders and have our nation where we don't accept anybody to come in. So I've been a very big proponent against...
Plenty of countries do that.
We can't just completely close our borders off and never allow somebody else to migrate into the country.
Why?
Why not?
Because that's how the country started, as a melting pot. Like, we welcome people in.
The country did not start as a melting pot. A term was invented in 1910 by Israel Zane.
So the people that came over from England didn't melt into America.
No, they started in America. They didn't melt in anything.
Okay. I've been very clear that I'm against illegal immigration coming into this country and plaguing our generation from not getting jobs, making our streets unsecure, and actually harming Americans' future. Because therefore there's no...
Okay, I mean, these are Groypers, these are Nick Fuentes fans who are berating Brilyn here. Why does this dude have a Hitler mustache? Like, guys, get serious. These are very deeply unserious people. Come on.
Safe America and free marriage to grow up in.
Again, my question wasn't about illegal immigration, it's about legal immigration.
And I think we should support more people coming legally and not illegally.
Okay, I think we all understand what your position is. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
The old Brilyn melting pot Hollyhand. We're a nation of immigrants. Reagan, Bush, 84. He's totally fine with Minnesota being a Somalian exclave as long as they filled out their documents correctly. The thing is, Brilyn, I'm 24, I was 15, 16 when Trump was getting elected, and you did still see people walking around with Reagan Bush t-shirts, which Brilyn does often, but even then, it was sort of a dying breed of conservatism. It was on its last legs, very swiftly being replaced by Trumpism in its nascent form. I don't know how Brilyn, who is several years younger than I am, where he's getting this. I just don't understand how this could be the natural political trajectory of someone who grew up in this time. It sounds like he's uncritically parroting like something his grandfather told him without thinking about it or doing any research of his own. It's like no one is naturally or organically arriving at Reaganism growing up in 2025. It's not happening. And I think this is why people on the right have regarded Brilyn so far with a deep skepticism, because he emerged onto the scene as this sort of household name on the right by lying, essentially, being dishonest about the nature of his affiliation with Turning Point USA. On September 19th, when he announced the One Conversation at a Time tour, he said, breaking, 19-year-old Brilyn Hollyhand has just announced he's partnered with TPUSA for a 10-stop campus tour across the nation in honor of Charlie Kirk. Give him a follow to support him. He didn't partner with TPUSA, and several higher-ups at TPUSA National have made this abundantly clear. What he did was email the press secretaries of 10 different TPUSA chapters individually, charged them $7,500 in speaking fees, according to the Daily Mail, and then he hopped on his private jet, and on the One Conversation at a Time tour he went to, say that America's a nation of immigrants, that it's a melting pot. Like, dude, who are you? What is this?
That next movement. Here today to talk
I mean, like, what the hell is he's posting inspiring videos of himself? He's like up there like Joel Osteen
on your shoulders. Why? Because you're
with this sappy music in the background.
Fighters on the field, you know, on the front lines with the next generation, seeing them every single day. Of young people finally waking up to the fact of, whoa, I can think for myself. This is no longer a fight of red versus blue. This is a fight of good versus evil, and you are on the front lines of that fight.
Better turn this up.
If you hear one thing from tonight, Oxford, please go out and make America proud.
Turning Point USA, Philly. I wish we had more material from the Brilyn appearance at Auburn. There's really only a clip of the question about immigration, but I do just want to finish off with sampling a bit of Brilyn's book here, The One Generation Away, after the Ronald Reagan quote. This book, or what's available of it on Google Books, starts off as like erotica for Reaganism. You know, I mean, we have a few pages, and then he admits that he's glazing Reagan at the end here. He says, okay, yeah. This book is not a biography of Ronald Reagan, blah, 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 blah. He has all of these wacky anecdotes about a bunch of foreigners approaching him at the airport and saying, and professing their love for Ronald Reagan. He says, I can't walk through an airport wearing a Reagan Bush 84 hat without having dozens of people stop me and tell me how much we need him back in office today. Last year, I was out of the country on family vacation. He doesn't say what country. I'm curious which country he's talking about. Thousands of miles from the United States. One day, I threw the hat on while walking out the door, and I had 5 people come up to talk to me about it on my way to breakfast. That did not happen. There's no way that happened. How far have we fallen? Kids should be taught their ABCs, not gender-fluid pronouns. And we'll close off with a little history lesson from Brilyn here. He says, consider Germany post-World War I. The Weimar Republic emerged as a beacon of democracy, teeming with transparency and freedom. However, economic turmoil, political unrest, and the ascent of Adolf Hitler's Nazi Party spelled the Republic's downfall in the early 1930s. Once freedoms were eroded, the iron grip of authoritarian rule was established. Germany would not reclaim full democracy until the aftermath of World War II. I really wouldn't necessarily use the Weimar Republic as a shining beacon of democracy. I mean, democratic it was, but it was also disgustingly degenerate and plagued with a lot of issues that led to the rise of fascism to begin with. I do not understand his glazing of the Weimar Republic as some example to be followed. It was not at all adherent to his self-proclaimed conservative ideals. I really don't understand where Brilyn is getting this stale brand of conservatism, this 1980s nonsense. As one of you theorized in the comments of the last video, that he's another MK Ultra kid, born and bred to perform. These people are actors, Charlie Kirk and Trump included. That's a little further than I would take it, but yeah, there's something fishy about Brilyn. I will not falter. I will not wane in my searing criticism of him. You cannot dissuade me, okay? We are declaring war against Brilyn Hollyhand here, and the war will be won only one conversation at a time. That's all I got for you guys. Thank you for watching Media Madness. My name is Thomas, and we'll catch you next time.